Hello, you guys. I just found, like right before this live started, I found a spider in my room up in the corner. And I'm really glad that I found that right before this started. But yeah, that was just like a wonderful, great, casual panic moment that we were just having. I ate half of my breakfast, but I haven't eaten all of it. So here's this if I become starving at some point. But how are you guys doing? Please let me know in the comments where you are watching from because I am interested to know. I have two extremely, this is loud. I'm so sorry. Wow, sorry, that took a long time to open. I have two huge topics to cover. We have the first topic is happening here in South Korea. What the heck's going on here? The second topic is all about the United States and how you can get back to the United States. So, for the people who are here, let me know where you're coming from, and I will start with the topic that you guys prefer because you're here, and I appreciate you a lot for being here. And this is just an easier way for me to get all this information out because there's a lot, and I want to answer any questions that you guys have. So, do you care about the South Korea stuff first, or do you care about the stuff that's going on getting back to America? And I know there's a little bit of a delay, but again, if you guys are just now joining, in the comments, it would be wonderful for me to know where you guys are watching from, and if you would prefer that we talk about what's going on to getting back to America, or if you prefer we talk about what's going on in South Korea itself. And while you guys answer that, I'm going to quickly tell people that we are going live on my Instagram. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, that is where I am the most active for sure. I will update you guys like regularly there. So if you guys do want to follow me, it's at MEGAN-OSTEN. So far, I'm seeing most people are. Hello, everybody. Hi, Sarah. Is it Ashton? Hello, Ashton. Hello again. Happy drawing. Nice to see you again. Good to see you guys again. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, JJJ. Hello, Bruce. How you guys doing? We are going live, so you should say hi because it's about to be posted. Okay, I'm just gonna assume. Hello, I don't know how to say your name, but I love it. Arwinder, that's cool. We'll just talk about what's going on in South Korea first, then, if you guys are okay with that. And holy crap! So I do use my phone as like an additional little added light. I do. That's a fun addition. How am I doing? I am doing a little stressed. I am not going to lie. The weather is phenomenal. I just ran to the convenience store and got myself a sugary coffee. But let's talk about what's going on here in South Korea. So, as of yesterday, I believe at 4 p.m., they have made a lot of things official for this coming Monday. I took a lot of notes because I want to make sure that I can cover everything. But as far as what's going on here in good old South Korea, okay, so can we just talk about also in the comments while I give off all of this information? Can you guys tell me how you're doing today, how you feel about the current situation? I know in America things are kind of pretty relaxed, I would say, pretty casual still. There's not too many changes. That's what I'm hearing. I'm not in America, so I don't know. In South Korea, things got really serious really fast. And at the end of this live, underneath, I'm going to link all articles that I found information from, if you guys are curious about this at all, for more details. But traveling to South Korea on Monday, I'm glad you are listening to this. Hello, Bruce, because holy moly, everything is changing. Okay, so starting December 6th, which is this upcoming Monday, there are a lot of new rules that are going to be implemented. And one of them is that they are expecting for you to be able to go to cafes, to be able to go to restaurants. They're looking to add like a whole bunch of places where you're going to like go and hang out. So like PC bongs, internet cafes. There's a a pretty long list of things where they're going to require that you have this COOV app. I just posted a video like yesterday afternoon here in South Korea that said none of this is official. It's becoming very official. And on December 6th through the 13th, which is 1 week, it is a grace period for people to like get the app downloaded and I guess I don't know, just prepare for what's going on. But that COOV app, you have to have the vaccine verification on that COOV app in order to be allowed into these restaurants and stuff like that. Or you have to present a test that you've taken, like one of the like the nose swabs. You have to present a negative COVID test within. You have a 48-hour window from the moment that you get the text message. You have a 48-hour window that like allows you to enter that establishment. So you can go, you'll get the results texted to you, and as soon as you get the results, you have a 48-hour window to be able to go out and do something. The COOV app, where you show your verification that you have been vaccinated. Hello, hello, everybody joining. The COOV app, where you're verified with your vaccine, you can only get that. First of all, if you have an ARC card, you can only like even get verified to use any of those apps if you have an ARC card. ARC cards are alien registration cards. You can only get those if you're coming to Korea on a long-term visa. So if you're coming for a short trip, 90 days or less, you won't be able to get an ARC card, which means you cannot get any of the QR code system stuff. With this regulation, though, there is some comfort that it looks like you can go to things completely by yourself. So there's a regulation that it's 6 if in the metropolitan area which is Gyeonggi-do, Incheon, and Seoul. It's 6 people or less, and like 6 is the max, and 1 person can be unvaccinated. And then outside of that metropolitan area, it's 8 people or less, but 1 person can be unvaccinated. So that would lead me to believe that you would be able to by yourself go out to eat, by yourself go to cafes, but like you wouldn't be able to go with a friend. And if you did go with a friend, at least one of you would have to be vaccinated. If you went with 2 friends, 2 of you have to be vaccinated. So that does lead me to believe that you'd be able to go to places by yourself. Now, for me, I love that. I made a video all about how to go out to eat by yourself because it is a little complicated here in South Korea. You can't go to eat at certain places by yourself, but obviously it is just like really depressing that it's getting to the point where if you are not vaccinated in Korea as of right now, your vaccine is not counted as valid, and that is a safety thing. It's not necessarily that they want foreigners to come in here and then they don't want to approve them. It's we just don't know if this is an actual true vaccination. Like I could just give them a card, but I technically could have forged that card. There's no system that is linked to South Korea that would like completely verify. So if you there are so many things to get into. If any of you are wondering, like, is there any way I could get vaccinated in Korea? You are allowed to get vaccinated in Korea if you are coming on a long-term visa. But as of right now, uh, there's a lot of like limited supplies, so it gets a little bit more complicated. If you have been vaccinated, maybe you got like 1 shot of Pfizer overseas, you come to Korea, you can get the second shot, and there's usually, I believe it's a 6-week time span between the first and the second shot because they are so low supplies. Usually it would be 3, it's now 6. So after 6 weeks, you can get the second shot, and then 2 weeks after that, you are considered fully vaccinated. If you are already fully vaccinated abroad and you wanted to get a booster shot, it does seem like online, I've seen 2 articles now that say if you bring like authentic documentation that you can or that you have been vaccinated in another state, if it's a Moderna or Pfizer that you've been vaccinated, you have to wait 6 months and you can get a booster shot here in Korea. If you got the Johnson and Johnson, then you can wait 2 months and get the booster shot here in Korea. But again, that's only if you have an ARC. In the last video that I just posted, like of a quick like December 3rd update, I think it's titled like the picture is titled like Scary for Foreigners or something. In the link of that description, there is a link down there for all of the people who would like to sign up for a booster here in Korea. Uh, yeah, it also comes down to, do you feel comfortable getting a booster shot? But if you were to finish your vaccine here, or if you were to get a booster shot here, that would allow you to be put in the system. Some people are saying, like, can I just get revaccinated here in South Korea? And it's like, I mean, I guess if you wanna stick your body with all the needles and all that stuff, I guess you could, because they don't consider you a vaccinated individual. So it is just, they're thankfully, they are not looking to do a curfew. They said that they were gonna do a curfew, and then they retracted that information because they think that that would be too harsh on businesses. So they're thinking that, they won't implement a curfew. But yeah, it's really, I feel bad for a lot of people, because with limitations like these, I just don't feel like people are aware of it when they're coming here. And so they think that they're just going to get out of quarantine, everything going to be fine. And things are extremely, extremely different. So, um, I'm going to catch up on some of these comments. Read the title, and yeah, I don't plan on traveling to Korea anytime soon, maybe 3 or 4 years from now. Girl, guy, it looks like a little cute little like Bratz doll. I love Korea so much. I couldn't imagine waiting 3 to 4 years, but I understand why you would say that at this point, because it is really crazy, how things are unfolding. But I want to encourage you guys that it sounds like, especially if you can go to places by yourself, a lot of people who are here are, verified vaccinated. It's a safety thing. So if you did want to meet up with a friend and you aren't verified, you might be vaccinated, but you're not verified vaccinated. You still can do that if they are. So it's kind of like, I thought it was gonna be literally you could not go out to eat, you could not go to cafes, but you could go by yourself. At least you're able to go by yourself. I would take that over not being allowed at all. So that's at least something. Um, Watching from Texas. Hello, Brianna. Hello again. I'm late. Well, if you have any questions, Lulu, just let me know. Angela, that sucks. I'm already in Korea and about to end my quarantine. Yeah, this is not what anybody wanted. This is not what anybody was expecting. But again, I really do think like you can still enjoy your time here. I don't think quarantine is going away anytime. Why did I just quarantine? I don't think quarantine is going away anytime soon. But I do think that there's a lot of fear on the front end of these like new variants, and things can potentially die down. I have heard that this is the least like scary of all the variants. If you guys have heard otherwise, please say so in the comments. But I'm double vaccinated here in the UK. I'm not from Korea, but visiting a friend. Will they accept me in? What, Bruce? What are you coming on like a 90-day tourist visa? Did you apply for the KETA? You would need to apply for the KETA if you're coming on a 90-day tourist visa, which means you're just like visiting. Still need to get a KETA. You're still going to need a PCR test to enter South Korea. You're still going to need a quarantine. If you are coming on a 90-day tourist visa, mandatory quarantine in a government facility. You cannot quarantine at your friend's house or at an Airbnb. You'd have to be in a government facility. Going to Korea to teach English come January. Thanks. Yeah, right. This dang virus. Thanks a lot. Funny how it is a safety thing, but the majority is still catching the COOV. Yeah, did you mean to say COOV app? I don't know if this is like a word I don't know, but um I really do think a lot of this comes down to just wanting to make sure that vaccines are real vaccines and that they're, yeah, verified. I miss chattiness watching from Georgia. Hello, Maddo. Hello, hello. Wow, this is actually really good to know. I thought we weren't even going to be able to eat alone. I know, me too, right? I was like, am I supposed to just get delivery? And the only delivery app that like a foreigner can use that is on a 90-day tourist visa or someone that doesn't have their ARC card yet is shuttle. If you don't know what shuttle is, I have a video that is called did you pack like it's like did you things that like apps to download, and I think the little title picture is like did you finish downloading or packing here, and it's like the phone screen. That would be there's a link in the bottom for you can get like a percentage code off of something called Shuttle, and that is the only food delivery app that you can use as someone that is just traveling to Korea or until you get your ARC card. So that would be a really good one to at least so that you can have some food delivered to you. But yes, it is encouraging to know that you can it sounds as of right now, it sounds like you can still do things on your own or with maybe a friend who is vaccinated or more friends. Metropolitan area, 6 people or less. Incheon, Gyeonggi-do, Seoul. Outside of that, 8 people or less. Again, one unvaccinated person only, no matter what group size. Apparently, if you're in a big group where 3 out of the 4 do have the vaccination proof and the fourth doesn't, they might let you in. True or false? True. Yep, that's what I was just saying. Um, COOV. I don't know what COOV is. I'm so sorry, I don't know what COOV is. Will you need to quarantine once back in the States? Great segue into what is going on in the good old United States of America. If you are trying to go back to America, let me type in the chat just so that people know that this is where I'm going to quickly tell the information going back to America. If you're going back to the States, as of right now, they have changed the regulation that you must present a viral test, nose or throat, within 24 hours of your departure to the States. So if you are flying uh, from Seoul to Georgia, you have to have taken a test within 24 or I'm sorry, not 24 hours, 1 day. 1 day. It is a 1-day rule. It is not a 24-hour rule. I thought it was a 24-hour rule. It originally was posted as a 24-hour rule in like a news article. This is why you have to go to the CDC and always check those kinds of websites, not these news articles, because they're going to say the craziest thing to get you to read the article. So it is a 1-day policy. And in that 1-day policy, that means you have all of the day before. So if your flight is at 8 a.m. on a Friday or 6 p.m. on a Friday, you still have all of Thursday to get tested and then get on your flight and head to America. Once you're in America, or if you're trying to leave America, it's it's way more relaxed as of right now. There's a lot of recommendations on the CDC, but there's not a lot of like you must. The only thing that is currently like a must is that the test that you take to board your international flight to go back to America is taken within the day before your flight itself. Hello, Daniel. Hello. Oh, Brianna said, in order to have food delivered, we have to have an ARC card. So to have food delivered to your house, to order things off of Coupang, to literally do anything, it feels like to get the QR code, you have to have an ARC. And so if you're coming to be a teacher, you will eventually get your ARC, but on average, I've heard people say it takes around 2 months to get their ARC. And so you honestly, you can't do, I have something on my shirt. You can't do a lot without an ARC. So if you're coming as a tourist, there's even more stuff that uh, you can't do. But that's why that shuttle app for the food delivery is really great because they make it foreigner friendly. So anybody can use it, whether or not you have an ARC card. There's a lot of stuff you can't do until you get an ARC card, or if you're coming on tourist visa, which I've done that, you can hire people. They're called like personal assistants. I also linked a personal assistant in one of my last videos. I'm trying to remember which video it was. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was like they can buy stuff for you. It's in the SIM card video. It is in the end of the SIM card video. It talks about how you can hire these people, you can pay them like hourly, and then if there's something that you want, they can like do that for you. It's just like a paid service. But for me, I just think if you make some friends, they can help you out. You can buy almost everything that you would need at the store. But if there was something you wanted to buy online, make a friend that does have an ARC card and they can also help you out too. Uh, Abs, I will be leaving quarantine the day the new rules start, and I'm on a tourist visa. So last night was a panic. I'm glad it doesn't seem as gloomy as it first did. Amen, girl. I came on here because I wanted to encourage everyone that hopefully, hopefully, the way that things are looking, it's not quite as bad as I was originally also thinking that it would. Yosh. Are you going to get a booster shot in Korea? That's a whole yeah. It's a great question. I don't believe that I'm gonna get a booster shot, here in Korea. It's not that I am against it, it's just that things don't really look like they would be working out for me to get the booster shot. As of right now, the booster shots aren't even being implemented, like or you can sign up online, but they're not even, like, following through with them until I wanna say the booster shots aren't being given until at least January. Maybe someone else, I believe, said February. So, I won't be partaking in the booster shot. Yeah, that's a complicated reason, but, Winekeeper, great channel. I'm really glad that I can help anybody, out. Didn't get vaccinated yet. I'm very interested to know, your experience. I mean, I guess, like, if you are vaccinated, or if you aren't vaccinated, I just feel like the whole world is leaning towards everybody being vaccinated as of right now. It's just kinda crazy. I will book a schedule to get vaccinated today. Okay, cool. It's again, it's still a personal choice. I do think that at this rate, it's getting really hard to do things without being vaccinated, which is kinda sad, but anyways, back to any of the if anybody has any questions or if you guys don't mind, since people joined late, please let me know where you are from, what information you came on here to understand. Is it about quarantine? Are you trying to figure out about these new rules in South Korea? I know some people missed the beginning when I started talking, so if you have any other questions, please feel free to answer them. I love to be here for you guys. I'm going to answer any questions that I can. So the whole world is turning into North Korea. Got it. Yeah, the whole world is scared. That's that's the best way to put what's going on in the world right now. There's a lot of panic, and that's because there's so much unknown. Um, there's so many things that people don't know, and they still don't know, and probably will never know. We're trying to get everyone vaccinated, and it's like, how great is this vaccine? Like, what we aren't even. Oh gosh. We don't even know like when is the best time to get the vaccine. There's always different test results saying that it's best if you get the second shot after this amount of time, and there's just a bunch of people that are scared, and they're all trying to do what's best for that country. They're all trying to be as safe as possible, and we are just along for the ride, aren't we? We are just along for the ride. Oh, I do want to say that if you are here and you have an ARC card and you have some documentation that you were vaccinated in a foreign country. I've seen again two articles that say you can get your booster shot here in South Korea. It's 6 months again after Pfizer and Moderna, and it's 2 months after Johnson and Johnson. But if you have to go to the clinic and, like, show them, you won't be able to register online because they don't wanna give booster shots out unless you've been vaccinated. So, uh, the booster would only be for someone that has been vaccinated already. So if you wanna go to your local GU district, and try to talk to them, and get your booster shot at least scheduled. Otherwise, I cannot use any public facilities, so I'm getting the shot soon. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. You can't do a lot of stuff without getting it. Can you make a video? Can you make a video about the best restaurants that you have been to thus far? I love food. I love food. I love food so much. I love food so much. I can definitely make a video about some of the best restaurants. Um, If I don't make a video about things, I usually will post stuff on my Instagram, like I've already posted on there my absolute most favorite ramen shop, but it is in Busan. I literally went there, like, all the time. So, but yeah, I can definitely give you some recommendations, and if they're not on a YouTube video, it'll be on my Instagram story, and my Instagram handle is the same as this one. I'm from Peru, living in the States. Hello, Claudia. Hello, hello. Are you trying to make it to Korea? Are you just trying to see what's happening in the world? What brings you to the live? Nice to see you. I haven't worn a mask for 18 months now. LOL, my state is still like it's living a normal life. It's mind-boggling to me how two sides of the world are experiencing two completely different things. I've talked to a lot of my American friends and they're like, "Yeah, we just, everybody's posting about these BTS concerts, right? Everyone's going to the BTS concert. Meanwhile, we can't gather with more than 6 people over here in South Korea. It's kind of crazy. Don't worry too much because Korea is very well at treating the virus." Yeah, I mean, I will say that the way that Korea treats all of this is not that other countries don't like not that America is not treating it with like seriousness, like they are still trying like the whole like 24-hour rule or the 1-day rule where you have to get your test now if you're entering America within 1 day. And that is whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, by the way. Korea definitely is way more cutthroat. That's the word. Maybe it's not serious. It's just like Korea's very cutthroat with like, this is what we're doing, and we're gonna be really strict about it. And maybe some people would say like a little too dramatic, but they are just trying to be really, 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 really careful and cautious. Da 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 da. Where did we go? Where is it? Perfect. So just to be clear, foreigners are still allowed to enter South Korea, but must present KETA visa, PCR test, and vaccination certificate. It depends on why you're coming here. Depends on what visa you're coming on. If you're coming on a long-term visa, which means you're going to be like a student or a teacher, anything but the I think it's anything but the 90-day tourist visa, the traveler visa. You have to present a visa. So if you're coming on that 90-day tourist visa, that's why you need to go online, fill out the KETA. Please watch my Korean customs update video and the first one, both of them, really good information. Everything in those videos is remaining the same. PCR test, yes. You should bring your vaccination certificate. You're not going to present it in customs, but you should definitely bring it because that's the only. Sometimes I've heard some places, because it's very much like a case by case, like a restaurant by restaurant. Maybe you aren't, maybe it's not in the COOV app, but I have heard people say if you show your vaccine card, then you could still get in and it's okay. Who knows what the regulations are going to change to? So if you don't have that vaccination card, then yeah, you should definitely bring it if you are vaccinated, and especially leaving the country that you're in America right now. I know that they are, I believe that they're checking to see if you're vaccinated or not. But I've heard that again, in America, it's a lot of like, we recommend that you don't travel during this time. And like, we recommend that you get vaccinated. But there's not a lot of, if you're trying to leave America, if you're trying to go anywhere, you have to worry more about the country that you're going to. And Korea requires a PCR test. So, yes, a visa, PCR test, make sure they're both printed. Um, is the booster shot free? That is a great question. I've just been thinking that it is. If you're asking about in Korea, I believe that it is free. I have not heard anybody say that you have to pay for it. If anybody has heard otherwise, I don't I don't know. I've researched everything, but I haven't researched that. It's probably because it is free. That's why I haven't like seen anything about it. Um, yes, BTS is having a concert in Korea. Let's hope, let's hope that all of that is opening up enough to the point where we can have concerts in Korea. Oh, but I just really don't know. The death toll in America is very serious. The death numbers are going up everywhere. It's really everywhere. But thankfully, again, we want to try to stay positive, and I do think that I have heard that this variant is very Like, again, the virus desires to stay alive, right? It doesn't want to kill people off. It wants to keep spreading from person to person to person to person. So it will mutate into ways that it can stay alive for longer, which means that it's going to keep mutating and eventually get less aggressive because it wants to just keep moving from person to person. Um, it wants to stay alive. So yeah, it's going to keep mutating. Like, it's not like this new variant is a shock. It's like, no, yeah, this was going to happen. It's going to keep doing this, but it just is kind of like, how long are we going to keep having to make these really serious, rules and take these like serious changes? How long are we going to having to keep worrying? Yeah, I don't know about that one. I just know it's going to keep mutating. Also, nobody wears masks here, by the way. Nobody cares and isn't scared. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people in America don't care. Very, not that they don't care. They just, people, a lot of my friends aren't even aware of what's going on. So I really, oh yeah, I am a little bit nervous about what's going on in America, but again, I think that the virus itself is getting weaker and weaker, and America's kind of perspective on it is like we can't just like shut everything down for life. So let people get it and try to be safe about it. But yeah, a lot of people just are living like a normal life now, and they'll say like post COVID in like pictures and stuff, which is crazy for me over here in Korea to see my friends like post COVID. I'm like, oh, interesting. We work remotely, so we're going on a 3-month trip to Korea in April. I hope you have a really, really great experience. Hopefully things are a little less crazy by the time that you get here. But yeah, I love working remotely is amazing. Yeah. Your video on the coffee shops in Busan is great. I love cafes. Cafes here, next level. I always take videos when I'm in cafes. That video, I made like a cafe hopping video a while ago. It just didn't perform very well on YouTube because my videos, I would say, are maybe like a little bit more helpful videos. But if you guys would like another cafe video, I love making cafe videos. But I am doing Vlogmas. So every day throughout the month of December, all the way up until Christmas, I am going to upload some form of content, whether it be going live, that for me is going to be considered a video, or editing a video and posting it, or a vlog, which is way less edited and it's just kind of showing you my day-to-day life. Let me know which video you're the most interested in seeing. And it could also be a reel. If I'm having a real rough day, we'll just post a reel. Um, let's play really nice and love on each other in the comments. That's all I ask, because I don't want to ever have to like make anybody leave. I want it to be positive. Um, Have you felt any discrimination over the past few weeks? Because to be honest, I've been worried about feeling alienated because of this whole situation. Really, really, really good question. I think ever since, so this is my second time coming to Korea. The first time I came to Korea was in March, and then I went back to America, came back in September, and I definitely felt a slight increase of like paranoia, like less people will sit next to me on the subways. Or I'm sorry, less people would sit on the subways the first time I came, because at that point, I think the virus was like a little bit more serious. Like it was just, yeah, it was in a more serious state, I guess. Second time I came back, things had become a little bit more relaxed. And so, when I'm saying the difference, it's a minute difference. Like most people probably wouldn't even notice. Maybe it's just me thinking, in my head, are people like, thinking less of me? At this point, I would say that the way that the government handles the situation makes people feel more discriminated against than people on the streets, I would say, do. I really wouldn't worry about that. I really, really wouldn't worry about that. Um, I also think that it depends a lot on what your skin tone looks like, which is really incredibly sad. But I really do think that, according to where you are from, has a lot to do with how people treat you here. I think that Korea does, not everybody. There's a lot of wonderful people who they're not colorblind, but they see, your skin tone and they love you and want to learn, from you because they know that you're not from here. Some, I would say, treat people a little bit differently according to, the skin tone, and it's really, really sad. I personally, yeah, I have not felt that. But I do have friends that have said that they struggle with it. So I would love to talk more about that with you on Instagram in the comment section or in my personal like direct messages if you are worried. But I really wouldn't worry that much because that's going to happen in every country, right? This isn't a Korea thing. It's an everywhere thing. There's going to be some people who sadly look at you and judge you immediately based on your exterior rather than your interior, right? So I wouldn't worry about that here in Korea necessarily, but just know that, no country's perfect. So sometimes people have like a fantasy of what Korea looks like, and their fantasy, doesn't come true, and they get kind of like slapped with reality, which is really sad. Can I even go to a department store, all of you on grocery store, even without QR codes, getting out of quarantine in a few days? Well, welcome to Korea. You can. A lot of those places have, so Olive Young, from any Olive Young that I've been to, you just walk in. There's no request. Some malls will require like QR codes and stuff, but there's usually also a piece of paper that you can like sign in. If you don't have the QR code, you can sign with your phone number. Um, Grocery stores like Emart, they have the QR code, but there also is like a phone number that you can call usually. Uh, yeah, so try to always call a phone number, try to do something, write something down, just like don't walk past the barriers. um, and if you do like, if they do stop you and, like, I've never seen anybody, like, stop someone because they usually do something. They're making a call, they're checking with the QR thing. So I do think that you'll be okay, but again, I don't know if things are gonna get more strict here, coming on Monday, but again, you're gonna be by yourself, and like we talked about earlier, solo people here in Korea should be okay. Like, you should be able to go places by yourself. What is a secret of beauty? If you're talking about me, my mom and my dad, they're great. They did a great job. That's the secret of beauty. If you're talking about in general, beauty is on the inside, it's not on the outside. Hello, hello, Maddo. If anyone promoting masks that are actually made of proper material suitable to block the spores by size, cloth and paper masks don't really do much. N95 is the proper mask type. True. Yeah, so a lot of the cloth, like the cloth ones, very thin masks basically do nothing. I learned that the hard way after I used them for a really long time in America. So you really want to make sure you're getting proper masks. I did buy some proper masks myself, and I can, I think, if you guys are interested, please message me on Instagram if you're looking for like a really good proper mask, and I can send you the Amazon link to the ones that I bought that I did a lot of research on, and people said that they're like verified, that they are good. So if you are interested in that, please message me on Instagram and I'll send you that link. Um, wow, the comment section keeps. I'm so sorry, guys. The comments, I don't even know where I am anymore. For people returning to the US from South Korea, do we have to get a PCR test within 24 hours of leaving Korea, then upon arrival in the States? If so, how do we get the PCR test in South Korea at a good price? I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but to say it quickly, it's a 1 day rule now. It is not 24 hours, it's a 1 day. So you have the whole day before you leave to get tested. So if you are leaving on a Friday at 3 p.m. or you're leaving at Friday at 11 p.m., you have all of Thursday to get your test taken. It can be any viral test, which means nose, throat, just not spit tests. So you can actually get an antigen test, and that is going to be much cheaper. The results will come back within usually 30 minutes to an hour. You can go to the Incheon airport if you would like to get it done like before your flight. Like if your flight's at 6 p.m., you could go early and just sit in the airport for a really long time. But clinics and hospitals near you, most places do antigen tests. You just got to make sure that you're not getting ripped off. So the price should be around 60,000 won to 80,000 won in that ballpark area. So Don't get ripped off. Some people are finding these, like, insanely crazy prices. Don't be paying that. If you cannot find anything that's cheap, message me on Instagram and I can send you some direct links, but a lot of, like, clinics. So if you have a friend that can call the clinic and ask, or if you just wanna go online and, go onto, like, Facebook groups, like, every expat in Korea is a really good Facebook group to be in. They offer a lot of usual links of, like, "Hey, I got my test here, you should go here." That's really great to if you're coming to Korea at all, join every expat in Korea and quarantine in South Korea. Those are 2 Facebook groups like, cannot recommend enough. You can ask any question and people will answer. Are the answers always right? It's people answering, but there are admins who will make some, like, official updates and stuff like that. Um, 90-day visa-free status. What is the question? I'm so sorry. Random question. What is the best way to get to Busan from Seoul? Great question, because I did that all the time. It depends on where you're going, and it depends on if you want to save some money. All of my transportation series talks about how to get from A to B and, like, cheapest, positives and negatives, but I haven't made a video on the train because I hate the train actually. I hate the train, but I have taken the train a lot recently because the Airbnb that I was staying in Busan was near Busan Station, which is about an hour subway ride away from where the bus terminal in Busan is. And so it was like, I might as well just take the train because it's going to drop me off way closer to my house. So it depends on where you're going. Like if you're going over to like Kwangali Beach or Haeundae Beach, or Sumyong, which is my favorite city in all of South Korea, by the way. Sumyong in Busan is my favorite city that I've ever lived. That's where my favorite ramen place is. I personally want to sleep on the ride, so I would take a bus because the bus has one stop. I'm a kind of like a light sleeper, but the bus has one stop. The seats are really comfortable. They lay down. So I would take the bus and then take the subway to where you live. But the train will be able to be faster, especially if you took the KTX. That can get you down to Busan in like 2.5 hours, but it is way more expensive. The cheapest option for the bus is very limited time slots, and the cheapest option for the train is also very limited time spots. So if you're looking for the cheapest option, uh, go onto the apps. There's like a KTX. Why do I keep saying K? Oh, KE. That's why I'm saying it. Okay. KTX train app, which is very finicky, doesn't always work. And you can go to the bus app and you can look up. It's all explained in the transportation videos, and I will come out with that train video very soon. It's on the agenda for one of the next videos. Um, but those are you can go on the app and you can type like, I want to go from here to here, cheapest option, and it'll give you like the specific times if you're curious. So those are the options with luggage. I'm sorry, if you have luggage, that's what I would recommend because you don't have to pay for luggage. The best, fastest way is to fly, but that would only be if you didn't have luggage, because if you have any luggage more than a carry-on, then you have to check that, and that's really expensive. So if you have luggage, train, bus. I prefer bus because it doesn't stop like every 20 minutes and wake me up and my ears pop because you have to go through all these tunnels. And yeah, I don't like the train, but train is gonna be faster than the bus, especially if there's traffic. That's really, really bad because the bus can get stuck in some really bad traffic. But the cheapest bus and the cheapest train are almost about the same price. Flying, if you don't have luggage, is the fastest and the best way. Woo! Could you vlog walking around, live feed from the street, showing some of the beautiful sights of South Korea? That's already on the to-do list. I have filmed so many videos in anticipation of this Vlogmas, but it got a little complicated with all of these new updates. So I was trying to update you guys quickly because that's really important, and all of that footage that I have will remain, and I will upload it. But lots of vlogs are coming. They'll be less edited, but they'll be more authentic, my day-to-day life, what it looks like here, and I'm really, really excited. And yes, it will all be here in real life in Korea. Thanks, Anna Luisa. I love Anna Luisa. They're my absolute favorite jewelry. Koreans generally kind to foreigners, but if I were you, I wouldn't worry too much. Yes, I think the overall consensus from myself, from all my friends, Koreans are so kind. Really, like, if you are nervous or you ever need, like, help, Koreans might not talk to strangers, but they will they wanna help if they can. It's just a language barrier usually, and there's a lot of, like, fear of, like, you're equally scared to talk to them, and they're equally scared to talk to you. But overall, I've never met someone that didn't want to help me. Sometimes it was just a language barrier. And, like, even, I took a taxi and I was trying to show them the address, and it was in one of those taxi lines outside of, like, a train station, and the other taxi driver, like, came over to try to help too. It wasn't like, "What are you taking so long?" It was like, "Oh, like, can I help you too?" All my Korean friends, like, they're always helping me translate these articles, like, I cannot thank them enough. Koreans, I really love living here because I've just met so many amazing people. But every country has wonderful people, and every country has those bad ones, those bad folks that just want to make everybody's day worse. So, um, wow, you've glowed up. Maybe it's because I changed the lighting. I'm really nervous about cafe culture in Korea because I'm lactose intolerant. I will be honest and say they put milk with a side of coffee in most coffee beverages, especially non-chain places. They usually do not have, any milk replacements or milk alternatives, but you're not out of luck because a lot of the chain places will have one alternative, never, ever as many options as they have in America. But usually cafes here, I would say, do a better job at having more options than just coffee things. Like they'll have these aids that are like really fruity, taste delicious. They have teas that are really good that are like with real fruit or like with a real lavender in them. So that you might have to get a little creative. You might not be able to do like what you're used to doing, but you'll definitely be able to find stuff. And there's always really nice pastries and all of that stuff. Um, so you will be fine. Just know that there aren't gonna be a lot of milk alternatives, but plenty of really good, options. How intense is your lactose intolerant? Because I used to think I was lactose intolerant. I'm just curious to know. I mean, I was. I thought I still was, but then I realized I wasn't. But maybe you're like, "No, I'm really lactose intolerant." It's bad, bad. I have IBS. That's my main issue. Is there any way I can prepare the vaccination proof before arriving in Korea? Is there an app? Also, do you know if I can quarantine at a family's restaurant residence? No visa, short-term stay, US citizen. You can only quarantine in government facility quarantine if you're coming on a short-term visa. From my understanding, the only way that you're allowed to not quarantine in a government facility is if you have a vertical family member. So this isn't like aunts, uncles, this is mom, dad, grandpa. It's like straight up. But from my understanding, the short-term visas equal mandatory government facility. As of right now, especially mandatory government facility quarantine. There is no like until the 16th if you're coming on a short-term visa, period. If you're coming from, I listed in, I believe, December 2nd update or December 3rd, one of the two short 1-minute videos has a list of countries on the screen. Those are people that have to government facility quarantine no matter what visa they're coming on. But you most definitely at this time will have to quarantine in government facility quarantine unless they change that regulation. And preparing vaccination proof, anything that you can have, like, the more, the better. So, the card, if you have your vaccination card, definitely bring that, but if you can go back to that clinic and get, like, a formal document that's signed, I would 100% do that. Ask them, like, "Hey, I'm going to a country that cares a lot, and the more proof I have, the better. So please try to go back, but you can't get the app in advance right now. You're gonna have to the only way you could ever get that app is if you were on a long-term visa and you're saying it's a short-term stay, so that means you will not be able to get it because you need to have an ARC card. The only way you can get the ARC card is if you're on a long-term visa. What made you move to South Korea? Oh my gosh, Sarah, thank you so much. I don't even know what that is, but it's so cute. I think that's a super chat. Thank you so much, girl. I'm here to give any information that I can. That means so much to me. Thank you. If you guys do want to support me, I have something called Ko-fi. I have a Ko-fi account and I have a Venmo. All of that is linked in my Instagram. Thank you so much though, because that's so cute. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. Oh, anyways, thank you so much, Sarah. Going back up to the questions, I don't want to miss any of these. What made you move to South Korea? I was wondering since I've discovered your channel out of curiosity. I The story is, like, super, um, maybe a little bit complex, and I wanna answer it, but let me answer some of these few questions so I get, caught up, and I will answer it because it's a really I like the answer. What about wearing gas masks? I guess you could wear a gas mask if you want to. Um full body suits? Yeah, whatever you would like to do. The KF-74, also better than cloth, way better than cloth. Hi, I'm still in quarantine for 1 week, and I panicked with the new rules. I've booked concert tickets. Do you know if I still can attend the PCR test? Is this part of the quarantine pass? I really highly doubt that concerts are going to be allowed anymore, because the rule now is 6 people or less in the metropolitan area. Outside of that, it's 8 people or less. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna officially say it, but it's like they're definitely going back from living to COVID to these, like, stages. It's not official, but that's, like, what they're doing. Hi, Brooke. Oh, hi, girl. I love you so much. I miss you so much. Love you, girl. Hi, Marlena. Hope the stream goes well. Love you guys so much. Sorry I missed it. I'm scrolling up all to answer all these questions, but love you guys so much. Um so yeah, the new rules are a little bit intense. I don't know about these concerts. I don't think that's going to happen. Um, but they haven't said anything about that. They just have said that the rules are getting really tight. So yeah, definitely keep your eye out. But I am really sorry. I don't think a lot of positive things when it comes to Korea having any more concerts anytime soon. City was shut down prior to when I came, and then they opened right after Halloween. It may be the same. Yeah. I agreed on the Koreans being super nice and hospitable. On multiple instances, I had Koreans come up to me to try to help me, even if I wasn't looking for help. Yeah, so many wonderful, wonderful people. Amber, you're a good girl. You good. I love you, girl. Will you consider modeling? I do not fit the stereotype of a model. I do not fit the stereotype of a model here in South Korea. Thank you though, but um, yeah, I'm 5'7", 171 centimeters, so I'm not, like, super tall, but I'm not I don't know, maybe that's okay, but I have just a very I don't have a tiny waist. I've talked to a lot of people. Hello, Do Flamingo, hello. Um, I have not a tiny waist, and I've talked to a lot of people in the entertainment industry here. It is something I'm considering, is the entertainment industry, but they very much expect you to be quite tiny, and your girl loves food. So, I did. I watched the I Go Bar North Korea video. I did. I actually did. It was really interesting. I don't believe that they're open to any travelers. I don't even know if I would go. That it was pretty intimidating to watch his video, but it was very yeah. The train ride was really beautiful to see North Korea. Thank you for the recommendation. It's a fox. It's so cute. Um, is there a curfew? So the curfew got retracted. There is no longer a curfew. They were going to set a curfew. It's now just this COOV app mandatory thing. Sasha, I'm glad you can make it to live. Um, what do you think of Korean guys? Good looking. I that's kind of sounds ridiculous, but I don't how do I describe this? I am not interested in what America thinks is attractive, which is so funny. I'm like I'm way more attracted to yeah, like non the American standard. So like I would say that the good looking guy is like has the beard, is strong and super tall. I care like way more about the heart and all of that, but, like, I don't know, I just don't ever since I've lived in China, my interest towards American men has shifted. So I'm definitely think Korean men are very good looking. I think Korean men they care more about, like, cleanliness, appearing like they usually dress a little bit better, a little bit more hygienic. Um, American guys are not always, but, like, the fact that a Korean guy, like, still puts on skincare and, like, takes care of their skin and doesn't just only wear, like, the sweatpants and the oversized t-shirt, like, that's still great, but, like, they can wear other nice things. Just overall, I would say America has, like, an athleisure, um yeah, very, very athletic wear, whereas Korean guys will do the same athletic wear, but, like, the shirt is just better quality or it's just a little bit more I don't know, it's just a little bit nicer. So, it's not that I don't have anything against anybody. I think all men are great. And someone said, "Men are men. LOL. Everywhere is the same." Facts. But yeah, I definitely I love the style here, and I love the way that people present themselves. But there's also a lot of really like darkness in that because people care so much about their exterior here and so much about what they look like on Instagram. The number of pictures I've seen people take of themselves, it's just like I've never seen someone take that many selfies. Like I know we take pictures in America, but we would never have our friends take 200 plus pictures of us at a cafe, but that happens at every single cafe. So, yeah, there's good and bad reasons to the fact that people dress well here. But anyways, um you don't need to do runway commercial model. I again don't think I'm like the what people want, but I would love to have an entertainment visa. But I like acting more so probably than modeling. I've done a lot of acting in life. Um, I'm still curious though. I don't know what that was in regards to. They told you that you don't fit to be a supermodel. They must have been high. So kind of you. I'm a size like 8, 6, 8. And they often want models here to be a size 0 to 2, which that's about my thigh. Maybe my thigh's bigger. Um, are they saying anything about quarantine camps? Interesting. Men are men. LOL. Everywhere is the same. I read that. Are you describing femboys? I'm just describing like the Korean guys in general, just overall Korea in general versus like the American guys. I'm really ready for this virus to be over because one of my dreams is to travel while I'm in college. Amen. Tell the virus to pack up and go home, but you can still travel. It's just obviously you might not have the best experience, like the same experience that you would without the virus, but you can still very much travel. Your girl's doing it and it's crazy, but I wouldn't recommend traveling right now. Things are getting crazy. Nobody knows what's going on, but soon I do think that you'd be able to travel again. Great hygiene and that guys actually put in some effort into their appearance. That is a wonderful way to sum it up. Materialism has taken over the minds. It is sad and scary how much the exterior materialism people will rent these amazing cars just to drive them through, like, Gangnam to get people to look at them. Like, they will drive the car in circles down the same street just to get people to look at them, and it's not their car. My friend told me that a guy brought them to their house, and then they found out a week later that they were just, like, renting that from a friend, and it's not even their place, but they're like, "Here's my house, here's my crib," and it's, like, all this Gucci and, like, all this stuff, and then they find out it's not actually where they live. They do whatever they can to sometimes look really, really good. So interesting. What are your plans while you're in Korea as of now? That's a great question. That is a great question. Um, I'm 171 centimeters, by the way, much shorter. But I am not, yeah, I don't know what my plans are, but they're definitely changing in my head from what I was anticipating that they would be. About moving back to okay, so I will answer that question now. The reason why I moved to South Korea, rewind, I was living in China and a Korean couple opened up a missionary Korean couple opened up a cafe near my apartment in China. And I wanted to support them. And I also wanted to like love them well. So I learned like, oh, how can I say like hello and stuff in Korean? Because I know what it feels like to, move away from your home. And so I like walked in one day. I was like, I'm sure I said it so bad, but I was like, 안녕하세요. And they were just like, whoa. I was like, 저는 Megan-입니다. And they were just like, and I it's crazy because I feel like God has placed Korea in my life in all these weird ways. I didn't really pursue Korea myself. So like my roommate, after I meet this these owners of this cafe, my roommate, finally decides to admit that she's like a huge BTS fan. So she hadn't said anything. She was like a little bit, I guess, like shy. And so she finally was like, "Yeah, so I really like this thing called BTS, and they're from South Korea." I was like, "Who's BTS?" I have no idea. This is in 2019, middle of 29 or September 2019, and we went to a noraebang, but in China. Um, and she like showed 2 BTS videos, and I was like, "What the heck?" Like it's so colorful and crazy. I was like, "I don't know how I feel, but like I think I like it, but I feel confused. Like they're wearing makeup, like I don't they all look the same because my eye wasn't, like, adjusted to, like, the Asian facial structure. Like, even my Asian friends confuse me and my friend, who is clearly a brunette, brown eyes, skinny, but they're looking at our faces looked the same. They would still confuse us. So my eyes hadn't adjusted to, like, the identifying the differences between Asian face structures. And so I literally thought that all of them looked like the same except RM. I thought all of them looked the same. So she was like educating us on just all things South Korea. She wanted to go. We were allowed to take a trip, one trip during our stay in China. Sadly, I had to go back to America, but she and I had tickets to go to South Korea. I had to go back to America before the trip. I was really sad. But Korea was still on my mind. And I moved in with my parents because it was all, yeah, a very crazy experience. Moved in with my parents. They had just moved to Atlanta like a year ago. Move in. I don't know anything about Atlanta. I don't know anything about Atlanta, but I found a random roommate eventually. I move up to the north side of Atlanta, type in closest jobs near me. Closest job near me was a Korean barbecue. And I was looking to make money as a server kind of quickly. So I was just like, sure, I don't know. Korea. I don't know what Korean barbecue is, but I went, I interviewed, and I was like, I should probably like eat at this restaurant before I like accept a job. And I went, and it was like in America at Korean barbecues, you as a server always cook for people at this restaurant. And I was like, I cook. I'm the chef. I'm I can only make omelets. Like I can't even. I don't know. I don't even know. Like I can make a mad cereal bowl, but that's like about it. And so I was like, but maybe it's just meat. Like I feel like I could do this. Like I feel like I do. And they hired me and I was like, yeah, let me give it a try. And the same time I was taking acting classes in Atlanta. Very first day of acting class, got randomly assigned this Korean guy, the only Korean person at this point that I think I'd ever met in America. Randomly assigned to be a Korean guy's acting scene partner. And I was like, oh, like we had to play a game where you tell 2 truths and a lie, but it was like this story version and stuff. And he was telling me stories about how he'd gone to Korea. And so we started talking. And I was like, do you know of anybody that takes like or teaches Korean? Because I think the language is really, really beautiful. He's like, oh, my sister's a Korean teacher online. So I started taking her class. My friend randomly was like, have you ever seen Korean dramas? I was like, what's a Korean drama? She showed me Korean dramas. There's a little Koreaville near Atlanta. So I went there to like go to some cafes. Like, Korea just kept coming in my life, and I was like, "You know what? I love to travel. I've been to 9 countries at this point. I never got to go to Korea. I really wanna go." So, eventually, I told one of my friends, like, "I think I really wanna go. Like, I think I'm gonna go." And she wanted to go too, and she randomly showed up at my door one day and was like I told her, "I think I'm gonna go. Like, I think I'm gonna buy the ticket, like, today, tomorrow. I'm just gonna go. If I have to go by myself, I'll go." She shows up at my door. I quit my job. We're buying the tickets. And so we came here in March. And ever since then, I love it here. And I definitely, definitely, definitely hope I can find ways that I can stay longer here. But as of right now, things are getting really scary and messy. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen in the next Few months, but that's like the short version of how God brought me to Korea. Both Korean women and men are good looking and they're the tallest people in Asia. They dress really well too. Yeah, they dress super well. We're here for it. I'm watching from the beginning, so that's okay, Amber. You're good. All I know is that I'm returning either May or October. So as of now, I'm just crossing my fingers. Yes, girl, get back over here so I can see you again. Um, Gucci gang. Pretty funny story about the guy that rented and yeah, that's funny. Back in the day, guys in the States would use fake plastic dummy cell phones when cruising to impress ladies that they could afford a cell phone. Fake. That's fun. It's happening everywhere. We're doing things to impress the ladies. We gotta do what we gotta do, you know. One of the best ways to learn a language is watching movies with subtitles. So I did a lot of research on this. Watching Korean dramas with Korean subtitles, no English subtitles, is the most like is there's the best results, I guess, with learning the language the quickest because you have to infer and like pick up with what's going on. Um I tried to do that. I really did. I don't watch dramas very often. I don't have a really good attention span, and unless I binge watch the show, I won't finish it. So I tried to do that, but then I'm like, "Wait, I need to know what's happening." And so I'm like going back and then turning on the English subtitles, and then I like try to turn them off, and then I keep watching, and then I'm like, "I don't understand what's going on." And I go back, um, and then I just start watching them with English subtitles because I want to know. But on Viki, it's a very old video of mine, but I have a video about how I learned Korean and or how I am learning. It's a process. I'm still what level is your Korean? I'm still very like upper beginner. I can make it by and I can read Hangul decently well. I'm better at hearing and understanding what people are saying than me making the sentence myself. But watching dramas on Viki, it's an old video of mine, How to Learn Korean. You can turn on a language learning button, and so the Korean and English subtitles will come up at the same time. Korean grammatical structure is flipped, so it's a little bit hard, it's not like, "Oh, this word equals this," but you can click on things and you can click on it and it'll have like a breakdown on the side of like what each word means. I really, really, really recommend you do that. That's a really good recommendation there to Do Flamingo. It's a good recommendation and very true. Yeah, it's hard to stay there long term indeed. It's so hard to stay here, you guys. I've tried to find so many visas that allow me to stay here and continue to do YouTube. That's the other issue. I was like, I'll just be an English teacher, but they're trying to crack down on English teachers having any other jobs. And so they're like, yeah, YouTube's a job. So I know a lot of people do it, but supposedly you're not supposed to do it. So it's kind of like, oh, all my options are kind of becoming fewer and fewer. I'm currently on exchange in South Korea and I leave soon. I'm kind of on the fence about getting a COVID test every couple of days in order to keep going out. What are your thoughts? So I don't know if you watched the beginning of this at all, but it does look like you would be able to go out by yourself. And in at least Seoul, which I'm going to assume you're in Seoul, it's groups of 6 or less. But there is one, they are allowing one unvaccinated person in that group. So if you go out with a friend and they're vaccinated and you are not, and they have the COOV app and it's approved and you don't, you can hang out with them, whether or not you have the COOV app. So supposedly you're allowed to go out by yourself. Like if you're just by yourself, it sounds like you're allowed to go out by yourself. You're unvaccinated and solo. So yeah, I wouldn't want to get tested. No, I'm not gonna shove that thing up my nose. No, 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 no. Not every other day. But if you are interested in like just being able to go out, maybe like right before you leave, the moment that you get your results back, you have a 48-hour window. And that is how long that test will last. So you get the results back. You go get tested, you get the results back. That's when the clock starts. You have 48 hours from that to use that test. So, yeah, I wouldn't get your nose shoved with a tube sticky thing that often, but it doesn't sound like it's hopeless. You can still go out and do some stuff. I'm going there as well as an exchange student, which makes it a lot easier. I really thought you went there as a long term. I don't know what you mean. What level is your Korean? Um, yeah, I said it earlier. It's like upper beginner. Like I would pull my hair out if I had to start completely over, but my tutor helps me learn how to like interact in day-to-day life, not necessarily like the book Korean, like that would pass my test. Like I just want to go out and be able to talk to people. So that's what she teaches me. I love her so much. She's like the best tutor I've ever taken from. So, yeah, I would say like upper beginner, but I'm learning like I really am trying. I want to stay here um, for a while. So I think it's really important to learn the language, to feel comfortable somewhere in the day to day. Do you know if there is a Wi Fi rental place outside of Incheon Airport? Right now, Incheon Airport is very complicated, so it depends on what visa you're coming on. If you're coming on a short-term visa, you're not able to go and do anything. They're just gonna take you directly to quarantine. If you're coming on a long-term visa, there are a few little SIM card options, and I have heard that they do sell the, Wi-Fi rental boxes, but I would really recommend that you consider getting a SIM card rather than doing the Wi-Fi rental because they're gonna make you call, to check in at places, and they're gonna make you write down a Korean phone number everywhere you go. You have to have a number where they can call you. So, if you don't have a phone number that's able to be called, I would really recommend that you find a way that you can. Watch my SIM card video if you are looking for more information on that. I've got to go, Mo, but keep it up. You're killing it. Thank you, Christian. Much love. Next class is March. I plan to apply. I also I also am interested in applying to a actual language school here in March. I saw you on Pirate Dan's video. Hello, hello. Nice to meet you. I usually talk to Pirate Dan in a British accent. I don't know. I guess it's just contagious. I love his accent, but nice to meet you. He's a really crazy, crazy guy. He's so cool. I think finding reasonable priced accommodations in Korea once the pandemic is over would be hard because many people will flock to Korea. I can see that you're drop dead gorgeous with the full makeup. Oh, I don't really know how to put on makeup. I just put on, I'll put on my eyebrows a little bit. But today I decided to give myself some rose the cheeks. Thanks. Yeah, reasonably priced. I don't know if there's going to be a I thought that the flocking was gonna happen now, but with all of this new regulation stuff, I don't know when the flock's gonna like, I don't think there's flocking that's gonna happen anytime soon. I feel like it's gonna be, like, gradually, people are like, "I just wanna get there." Maybe eventually there will be flocking. I think eventually there will be, but I don't see that happening anytime soon, but what you said is 100% correct. Prices will be crazy. Airbnb is already such a ripoff, which breaks my heart, but Airbnb takes such a cut, and then the people who own the Airbnbs know that they can upcharge because they know the prices in America or, like, overseas for a place like this is super expensive, but they make so much money because I know for a fact that the place I'm staying in, the rent is not this much, but they can charge that much because we are willing to pay it. So if it goes up anymore, oh my gosh. I can't imagine what would happen if someone ran around marking all the QR signs with a Sharpie. The QR codes are usually on your phone and they are updated every 15 seconds. So you can't even send them to a friend if you would like to. Um, you could try and get a job on the military base, government, or a contractor. Yeah, there's a lot of potential jobs, but they're never really a really great setup. And my number one thing is I want to keep doing YouTube, and a lot of things wouldn't allow me to do YouTube at the same time, which really, really sucks. So I'm trying to figure out a way that I can keep doing YouTube, but the options become fewer and fewer and fewer. I have one, but my Verizon iPhone won't unlock for another 2 weeks, 60 days. So, do you have an old phone that you could take with you, even if it's like someone else's old phone that just is allowed to pop a SIM card into? I would recommend you do that and bring both of the phones rather than doing the Wi-Fi box because you will need to make calls unless you plan to get an international phone plan with your Verizon iPhone. Uh, yeah, it's just you have to make phone calls at almost everywhere now. So That's the only thing is that a Wi-Fi box I don't think would allow to have the phone calls. Big hit and many entertainment agencies are hiring a lot of foreigners, but the catch is having to know Korean fluent. Yep, gotta know fluent Korean, and your girl's working on it, but it's difficult. Howdy, hello. Hello, Nina. How are you? Do they check RT-PCR for transfer passenger Incheon as well? Da 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 da. Wow. They used to say that you were fine and that you didn't need one for transferring, but I always recommended that everyone got it anyways because I have had so many bad experiences at transfers. In today's day and age, everywhere is looking for tests. So your main concern is to look at where your final destination is. So whatever country you're looking to be as your final destination, what is their requirement? Because you have to make sure you're meeting that. So let's say you're going somewhere and they require a test within 48 hours of arrival. I don't know. You have to make sure that the place that you're going to, that that test is, or that you're following those rules. Everything is changing on this Monday. Like all of these new rules are getting implemented. So they might up their request, but before they did not require tests to be presented if you were only transferring. But I really, 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 really highly recommend that you get a test taken, period. Someone's going to look for it somewhere. They're going to look for it for sure. I'm new to this channel, but I would suggest you try doing reaction videos. It helps the channel grow. I'm not sure what I would react to. And I wanna keep it, like, informative. So even vlogs, like, when I go out, I hope that I can still teach you guys something. But, um, yeah, I mean, I'm more so wanting to help people than I am, like, only hoping for numbers and growth. Obviously, I hope my channel can grow because I would love, love, love for this to be, like, a full-time thing in the future. But I don't know what I would react to. I guess K-pop, because I don't know anything about K-pop, so maybe that would be entertaining to people that I don't know anything about K-pop. But yeah, I don't know what I would react to. You are already in Korea. Hmm. There are Wi-Fi boxes in many, many, many places. I just really think that you need a phone number. You would be fine, honestly, with just taking the Wi-Fi everywhere. Like public transportation for those two. I don't know when you're hoping to leave, but for those 2 weeks, I would just go to cafes, steal their Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Like if you use Naver Maps, you can plug into Naver Maps where you're going. It will update even where you are as you go without Wi-Fi. Public transportation also usually has Wi-Fi. Does it always work? No. But you can download a map before you head out and you can make it work. I don't know how long you're going to stay here. If your phone gets unlocked in 2 weeks, I highly recommend that you do get a SIM card. But you can tell me more here in a second. Thank you. Happy to help, Nina. I think you can still search for a job on Craigslist, get a job for a visa purpose, and keep your YouTube thing. Yeah, it depends on the job. Some jobs require that you only have them as a job and you have no other form of income. So entertainment visa would be the best option. Entertainment visas here are really hard to find with like real, legitimate, reliable companies. I was trying really, really hard to find that and I haven't had a lot of luck, which really sucks. But I trust that everything happens for a reason. So we'll figure it out. How long does it take to get my ARC? I will arrive in 2 months in Seoul with an H-1 visa. Is that the working holiday visa? Did you get a working holiday? I thought that was the H-1 visa. I thought it was a working holiday visa, and I thought they are suspended and they don't have anymore. So remind me if H-1, if I'm thinking of the wrong one. But ARC card can take anywhere from a week to 2 months. So it just depends on if you go and you have your appointment set up. I would recommend if you already know what day you're getting here, go on to the Korean embassy right now, literally, and schedule an appointment for like whenever you're out of quarantine. Schedule your appointment right now because appointments at the embassy, like get so backed up, people will try to make it, and it's like there's no appointment slot for like 3 weeks. So make an appointment yourself right now to go to the embassy to apply for your HRC, and that will speed up the process. 5 sure, for sure. If you get caught, you could play dumb. Oh, I didn't know. Well, clearly there's a video of me on the interwebs that says I do now. So I don't know if I could do that. I don't like lying. So I try to never lie. I'd rather just get in trouble than lie. Pirate Dan had no trouble getting a job in Korea and he's goofy. So he has the working holiday visa. I want that visa. They suspended it. And also for Americans, it is only for people who have graduated college within the past year and a half, 2 years or something. And I graduated in 2016. So that royally sucks. Koreans are very sensitive to beauty and they take one look at you and they're going to say you're hired. Maybe. We'll see, I guess. I know you can't see the future, but what do you think the situation will be for fall of 2020 or 2023 to visit? I am in. Thank you so much, Nina. Oh, that means so much to me. Thank you so much, girl. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. I am in pre-planning for fall of 2022. See, if you would have asked me this question like a week ago, everything has changed. Literally everything is so different in the past few days. Like I was talking to someone about like uh I was talking to someone like literally 4 days ago and we're like so my birthday is the 12th. Had all these plans to make for my birthday and it's like in a matter of boop, all gone. Um yeah, it really really sucks. So, my updated view of what fall of 2022 would look like, which is next year, which is next year's less than a month away. What? That's crazy. I do think things will have calmed down. Is there going to be another variant, you know? Are we going to go to some other letter, Greek letter or whatever they are? Um, I mean, it's gonna get better. The virus keeps getting weaker and weaker because again, its desire is to stay alive. It's not to kill off people, right? It wants to stay alive. So it will mutate into forms that allow it to stay alive. Most likely it will become less and less, harsh or what is the word? Less and less. I didn't drink my coffee, so now I'm forgetting vocabulary in English. Um intense. Like it's going to almost like dilute in intensity. Weird way to put it. I do think by fall of 2022, things will look a lot better. It's like about a year from now, right? But I think a year ago, we also could have said the same thing. So it's really hard to say. But I do think if you're coming here on a long term visa, especially, you're going to find ways to make it around here. If you're coming on a short-term visa, again, like you can still make it work. Today I can go out and still enjoy Korea. It's just that there's going to be limitations, right? You might not be able to do what the old Korea was. The streets might not be completely packed shoulder to shoulder with people, but you can still, no matter what, enjoy. There's so much to see and do in every country. You'll still meet people, you'll still have great experiences. So I think everyone can plan aggressive, contagious, good words, by the way. Um, yeah, you can still plan a trip. You can still enjoy Korea. What will it look like? I truly can't tell you. I still think quarantine will be a thing. I really don't think quarantine is going to go away anytime soon, unless this virus were to like die off. I don't think they're going to get rid of quarantine anytime soon. They might lessen the number of days that quarantine is, but I really don't think that it's going to go away anytime soon. So I would plan on quarantining and I would plan on um, still enjoying Korea. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. God bless you, Megan. We'll be praying for your visa and supporting your visa endeavor. I hope to see you in Korea one day. So sweet of thee. Thank you so much. I need all the prayers that I can get. The Lord knows what's going on in my life, and I don't. I am so clueless, and I'm just at His mercy. So thank you so much. That means so much to me, you guys, that you guys are supporting me like this. I could cry. I really could. Could you react to foreign songs? It's kind of Teaching different cultures. You could react to foreign songs. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I could always do that. I have so many video ideas of what I want to do as of right now to help you guys out, enjoy Korea, see Korea more, a lot of vlogs. So I'm definitely going to focus on that, but reactions in the future, for sure. If I build up enough followers, yeah. Karen, I hope that answered your question. And if you want me to go into more detail, please just ask it again. Um, can you do a video on cool cafes located in Seoul and other major cities? Yeah, I had mentioned this earlier. I made a like mostly Busan cafe hopping extravaganza. And I have a lot of cafe footage if I ever wanted to make another cafe vlog. But again, when I posted that video, it wasn't what my audience was looking for. They were kind of more so looking for more like knowledge at the time rather than like pretty aesthetics of Korea. But if you guys are interested in it, I want to give you what you want. So you just tell me. And if you haven't seen my Busan Cafe haul video, watch that and let me know in the comments if this is the kind of video that you're talking about or if you mean something more vloggy. Yep, working holiday visa, they are not suspended in Germany at the moment. Lucky you. I thought that maybe so are you're coming to Korea on a work because I thought Korea themselves suspended all working holiday visas, period. So maybe you're going to Germany? Maybe I'm confused. Can you clarify a little bit more? I'm so sorry. I checked the H1 visa page religiously, but it remains suspended. Correct. Yeah, it is still suspended. Well, how about starting your own website where introduce famous cafes, places in Korea, and let people know information like you're doing here now? Um, Websites, I don't think are you can't really grow very well with a website, which is why I've chosen YouTube to be like more of the way that I try to reach people, grow. I'm not against a website in the future, but it's also kind of like I'd rather you just come watch my YouTube video because it's a more fun way than me just posting pictures. Like, if you can't tell, I like to talk. I like talking and I like interacting, and I think it's fun to edit. Like, I love to be creative in editing. I hate taking pictures. You guys are on Instagram, it's like, "Where's she at?" I don't really post pictures of myself because I don't like it. The only time I post pictures of myself is if my friends end up taking pictures of me and, like, they're taking pictures, so I would never go and be like, "Can you take my picture?" But it's like, if they're already doing the whole picture thing, I'm like, "I guess I should partake in this too," and then I'll take my picture, and that's maybe when I end up somewhere, so, yeah, maybe a website one day, maybe. Yes, my birthday is December 12th. I was born December 12th, 1993. I bet you don't think that I'm that I bet you don't think I'm that old. Thank you for your response. Stay safe. Great channel. Happy to help. Nina, kind of challenging for you due to COVID things happening. Yeah, I'm sure things will get better soon. I did make my own choice as well to go back to Asia, even though I have better life in US. It's just not for me. Where are you from, Nina? I'm curious. I hope I'm saying your name right. Nania? Nania? I don't know how to say it, but I love it. Um, uh, Thank you so much, Terminator. That means so much to me. Thank you. Seriously. I'm happy to give you guys any help that I can, truly. Um, US versus Asia, like if you can't drive, don't go to America. Unless you maybe like want to hit up like New York City or Chicago where there's a really good like public like subway and transportation. America, you got to have a car and it's expensive and it's spread out. And I think the way that America is spread out explains a lot about like how Americans are. Like there's so much room. There's so like we always say like, "Oh, you come to an Asian country and your personal bubble is, like, so invaded." That's because they don't have a lot of space. They say Americans are really loud. Well, we have all the space to talk and be loud. Like, um, they say that Americans, when they walk down the street, they don't realize that they're, like, taking up the whole street themselves. That's because we're not used to being in, like, you know, more tight spaces and stuff like that. So, yeah, going from, like, Asia to America, I think can be extremely lonely. And, if you don't have a car or you don't make friends with people that drive, still people like going all the way to your house to pick you up, it's a really different experience. You're way more dependent on other people in America if you don't have a car. Took my PCR test at CVS. Is it acceptable in Incheon? Yes. If you have not seen my PCR test videos about CVS and Walgreens and comparing them, I would really, really, really recommend you do because I talk about CVS versus Walgreens, which one's better, which one has more information, what is expected of you. The only thing that would be different from those videos, the only thing that would be different that I can think of is I don't believe that signatures are quite as looked for now. Um, it's more just uh, thank you for the Americano Terminator. I need all the caffeine I can get. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's they are accepted, but I would watch those videos because it has a lot to do with like when are you going to get your test back? Are you getting it back in time? All of that. Plans on your TikTok. So I also think TikTok is very addictive. Oh, and it scares me how addictive it is, so I try to not get on it. But I realized that I kind of like built an audience that like wants funny, and I could go back and keep doing funny, but I've kind of gotten more into like the aesthetics of Korea than funny. But I guess I should just keep it as funny because I do funny things and I say funny things, but I just end up making YouTube videos instead of posting on TikTok. But TikTok would be a really good way to grow, so I really should go on TikTok. But it's so addictive. Um, if you do reaction videos to BTS or Blackpink, crazy amount of views. Yeah, I don't know anything about any I know BTS enough, but Blackpink, I don't know anything. I don't even know what aespa is. There was a commercial on, like, YouTube for I believe I'm pretty sure it was like a one of the groups, and I was like, "Who are all these random men?" Why do they keep going why do they keep showing this group of random men? I was like, "Oh, it's a K-pop group." I really don't know anything about K-pop. It was nice talking to you, God bless, and I hope you achieve your goal. Thank you so, 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 so much. I'm a German citizen. The H-1 visa was suspended for a year and a half in Germany. Some day I decided to call them, and they told me that it isn't available, so I immediately applied, and I got it last week. Very interesting. I'm very intrigued because 'cause I'm like, "Can I apply?" But, I wonder if they, like, temporarily suspended the suspense, and then you were able to get it, but good for you if you can get here on a working holiday visa, that's, like, the best in my opinion, that's the best visa that you can get, and it says online that it's still suspended, so, um, yes, that's awesome that you could get it. I think you asked a question, and I got more sidetracked with the fact that you had the H1, so if you wanna re-ask your question, I can answer it. Any plans to go to Daegu? I would like to go to Daegu, but currently your girl's not going anywhere with this crazy Rona mess. Not gonna just, stay locked up inside, but um I I am going to traverse. I'm gonna traverse, but I'm gonna wait for this stuff to kind of calm down a little bit. Perhaps you could get a job working for Carrie Cake. She's so sweet. I don't think she needs my help. She's so good at it, but if she wants to hire me, I love her YouTube channel. I love her aesthetics and I would take that job in a heartbeat, but I don't think she would sponsor my visa. Hi, I'm from the USA and I booked a trip to Korea in January through February. I'm a bit concerned about the new vaccine QR news. Um, would you recommend I postpone my trip or not? I did cover if you want to go back, crypto Brando, and re-listen to what I said the regulations are in Korea once this is over. But personally, I would postpone because it does seem like in the next month or so, it's a little bit like before I would have said, come, like there's so much to do. They're still figuring things out, and the new regulations would mean that you would have to basically go out by yourself always or be with other people who are vaccinated. And they're trying to They're really trying to make sure that people are vaccinated, but you can't be verified as a vaccinated individual if you didn't get vaccinated in Korea or get a booster shot in Korea and all that stuff. And yeah, I would really go back and re-listen to like the rules and regulations that I mentioned and see, do you think that's worth it to you to go through that kind of like rules and regulations? You can still experience Korea. I think it's gonna be okay. But the way that things were looking, I would be like, yeah, definitely come. The way that things are looking, it's a lot of question marks. If you only have a month to come and you can postpone it, I would. Can you still have a great time? Yes. Are you in quarantine right now? You're going to still have a great time. You're still going to find wonderful cafes to visit. You just might have to do stuff by yourself, or you might need to make some friends who are natives or who have that COOV app. Um, it's just a little bit, it got really tricky here in the past few days. These reaction channels have made many people rich. Maybe if I opened up like a second channel, I don't think I would put as many reactions on here, but I am a very reactive person. So I feel like I could have fun with that actually. Hey Megan, how easy is it for someone to get an English teaching job? Oh my gosh, if you want a job, English teaching job, you could have gotten it yesterday. You could get it right now in this moment. My friend is thinking about moving there soon. P.S. We both have the same birthdays. Are you born December 12th? You born December 12th too? I gotta know. Yeah, you could get an English teaching job. Have it. It's yours. There are always people, yeah, looking to hire. Always, 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 always. The issue is, can you find a good English teaching job? Can you get can you find a job where you're not gonna have to work these crazy long hours and have, a crazy boss? There are a lot of great stories, but there are also a lot of horror stories. I can't believe we have the same birthday. That makes me so happy. Um, so yeah, finding an English teaching job, totally easy. You can go to Dave's ESL Cafe. That's a really good website that I've always been recommended by other people too. Facebook groups often also post jobs, but those teaching jobs usually on the Facebook groups are for more like, I need a sub for this amount of time, or um, as of right now, I am like looking to hire someone that starts tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, but like starts in 2 weeks. So definitely could get an English teaching job. Moving there soon. Again, it's getting a little crazy over here, but I still think Korea is amazing, and I would definitely hop on that if you're considering it. Please, 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 please. They need you. They need you here. Will you have an easy experience? No, that is not guaranteed. You might have a really difficult experience, but you can always make the most of it. And I think that every experience you have, you will grow, and it will transform you into the person that um, it will transform you in a way that you will become a better version of yourself. Traveling abroad. Uh, it's difficult to travel abroad, but I definitely recommend. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10 would recommend, because there are a lot of hard parts about traveling. It still says online on the website that it's suspended. Sometimes you just have to call them because the embassies don't always update their websites. At least it is in Germany. I know that my friend called like a week ago and they said it's still suspended, but for Germany, there you go. My original question was about the ARC. You already gave me the answer to that. If you're still in Korea next year, we could make a video about the procedure of entering the country. Yeah, I love collaborating with people, and I love I really love to hear information about visas, especially. I want to make a video on visas. It's just that they're so complicated and everything is kind of always up in the air. It's really hard, but I'm really, really glad that you could get that visa. I wish I could. Maybe I should just try to apply. Just try it. Apply, see what they say. With all this information, I'm a bit scared, but have faith that everything is going to be okay. The news just have to be the news just have to be 2 days before I fly there. Say that one more time because I want to make sure that you have it correct. Because if you're talking about flying, and it's good to see you again, Duquesne. Hi. um, I totally understand why this would be overwhelming and a bit scary, but it is definitely like, we're going to be okay. It might be harder to do things. At the end of the day, we are going to be okay and everything is going to work out. But I want to make sure that you have it right. I don't know. I don't remember where you're coming from, but I want to make sure that you're getting your test taken at the proper time. Um, My throat, we're a little weak today, guys. Usually I'm doing just fine until 2. I mean, it's still been an hour and 40 minutes, but my throat is hurting a little bit today. Usually I don't have this pain. Woo! Um, I do think I will be going here kind of soon because this is the last weekend that things are kind of like normal. So I'm gonna go to a cafe here soon with a friend of mine, and I'm going to head over out tonight to go see some more. Oh, Risashi, I didn't need to do that, Risashi. Sarange. I can't wait to give you another hug soon. But I'm going to head out to see Christmas lights tonight. I saw some Christmas lights yesterday, but I went out a little bit too late and then they turned off at 10:30 while I was there and I was really sad. I was like, "Oh, wow." Zoom. I was like, "Oh, oh." I thought this was the city that never sleeps. Nope, wrong city. I love you so much, Misashi. I can't wait to give you another hug. Which season is the perfect season to enjoy the charm of Seoul? Ooh, good question. I'm gonna answer that. I just want to clarify something really quick. I'm just saying that more news on Monday coming up, and I flew out Wednesday afternoon from Hawaii and arrived in Seoul Thursday evening. Yeah, very crazy, lots of craziness, but it's all gonna be okay. We're gonna be fine. We might be limited, but we're gonna be fine. Don't worry. Deep breaths. Um, I really hope things can calm down as well. Um, Best season for Seoul. Definitely spring or fall, 100%. Winter, summer, if that's all you got, I would come to Korea over not coming to Korea. But summer is so dang hot and it has been so cold here. And the awkward thing about like it's not even winter yet, but it's like cold. So you're cold as you and it's not that cold here, honestly, not yet. But it's cold, but then you get to the subway and it's like stuffy and hot. And so it's like I'm taking my winter coat off, but usually people never take their winter coats off. And I'm like, how are you surviving? We are arm to arm, like next to people. Um, so yeah, summer and winter. Summer and winter in Korea is really hell. It is. So it's definitely we're leaning towards spring or fall. Spring, we have the wonderful cherry blossoms, which are absolutely stunning. Like nothing that I've ever seen. And I feel like both cherry blossom season and fall last around the same amount of time. Like they're not that long, but they still last for a decent amount of time. So it's not like, oh, fall lasts for like 3 months and, spring lasts for a week. So they both last for a decent amount of time. Maybe fall a little bit longer, but cherry blossoms are so unique to Korea, like, and like the way I mean, not just Korea, but to Asian countries. So if you're going to like an Asian country that has cherry blossoms or, blossoms that are really rare, I really, really liked cherry blossom season. And sometimes falls, I've heard in Korea aren't all that colorful and they always go really quickly. So I would probably pick spring over the 2 if I had to. I also just really like warm weather more than I like cold weather. We love a good fall fit, but I think I liked cherry blossomness season a little bit more, but that's just I love both. Like, I think fall here has been absolutely stunning, as well. So, both are great. It's just the seasons change really fast here. So, it's like spring and fall don't last for a really long time either. So it's like when I arrived in March, it was cold. Like we were wearing like thicker coats. And then all of a sudden it was like perfect. It was really nice. And then it's like, oh, oh, it's pretty hot today. And like the same thing with fall. It was like, wow, it's so nice. I can wear like short sleeves. And then all of a sudden it was frigid. Bam! It was like that. So, 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 so fast. Um, I'm from Laos. Come visit Southeast Asia sometime if you love to travel. Yes, I want to visit so many countries. I really do. I would love to be able to have a travel channel and just explore the world, but um, who knows? Who knows what's in the future? Right now, we're just sticking to South Korea because I really love it here too. I really hope things calm down soon because I will be there in South Korea in July for about 2 months. Please continue. I will share as many updates as I can. Yes, yes, yes. They will not stop. And you will love your trip. I hope you have a wonderful trip. Cherry blossom season, yes. I'm so hyped up now for spring. I will stay for 12 months, so I'll experience all the seasons. Which part of Korea is still on your checklist? This is actually coffee, by the way. It was warm, no longer warm. I don't know what's going on outside, but they're really loud. There's lots of banging. They probably are Korean and they don't know what I just said. But, anyways, which part of Korea is still on your checklist? All of it. I feel like I've seen I mean, I've been to Busan a lot. I've been in Busan more than I've been in Seoul. Time wise, I've been in Busan more often than Seoul. I like Busan more. I would really love to explore some more of like the coast, but Daegu would probably be the next thing on my checklist because that's where everyone always talks about. Let's go to Daegu, go to Daegu. Just coffee, no yogurt, sugar, coffee, and some milk. That's it. Checklist. I want to go. Like I have places in my mind. Like I've always like I don't know where the area is called, but I have places that I have marked on my map, and a lot of them are like coastal places. But I would love to just go to the middle of nowhere and just meet people. But I want my Korean to improve before I explore too much because I'm getting better at like ordering and like I'm getting better at being able to have like small conversations. And so I would love to be able to have more conversations in the future before I head out to like the middle of no man's land because I'd like to be able to talk to somebody. Jeju Island is good. Correct. Jeju is beautiful. I've seen all the pictures. I've wanted to go, but also it's not necessarily as much on my bucket list because it's a flight. Flights are great and cheap. We love them. But I just really like public transportation here. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I try not to get an airplane because I have so much like luggage with me and I can't check it. I guess I could always leave it at like a friend's house if I went, or I could go for like a weekend if I still like kept my Airbnb in like Seoul or something. But I just can't take a flight right now because we're already overpacking, right? I can't take all of that onto the airplane. They would be like, ma'am, we don't allow 70-pound suitcases on this flight. Would you be able for a road trip? I'm really a car person. I would love to rent a car and drive through the whole country. I I just like public transportation. I don't have anything against cars. Like my friend has a car, drives me around. I get very anxious in Korea in a car because the roads, I don't get them. I don't get the signs. I'm sure it would be better outside of Seoul. I'm probably just freaking out because we're in Seoul, but driving in Seoul is just like anxiety 101. Like everywhere you go, someone's pulling in some way and I don't understand why. And they give you like they give you it's like you get the on ramp and then it's like expects you to go all the way and get over here and I'm like there's no way they can do that and there's somehow the taxi drivers getting through all the lanes. I don't like the car thing here. I like to be behind the wheel. If you can't tell, I'm a control person. I like to be behind the wheel myself. So when I can't be behind the wheel myself, I get nervous. It's hectic. Yeah, driving in Seoul is terrifying. And the lights, like the lights on like the green, red stoplights. I need more coffee. Stoplights are sideways. And in America, usually we'll have like the turn lanes go and then like the straight. But here there's like no like overall general rule. And if anything, I feel like it'll be green more often first and then the turn lane. But the turn lanes are like going the opposite way sometimes than I'm expecting them to. U-turns. No. No, 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 no. And something very interesting, and then I'm gonna go here soon because my throat does hurt. Um, horns. Okay, so more so in China than in Korea, but horns. Okay, this is actually more so in China. They use them to like notify people that they are there. Like, hey, did it? Like, I'm coming in. Did it? And they'll use their horn a decent amount here because people should be moving and then they get upset and they make sure that they are known, just like every other country. But it's just like I feel like the horns are just like people are more aggressive. Like people have laid on their horn here for like a minute because the guy wasn't going. The roads. It's just not worth it to me. People are like, get an international driver's license. I'm like, not today. Not ever. I'm never taking on a sole road. I will ride a little scooter. I used to have a scooter in China, Dian Duncha. I would drive that little scooter thing everywhere. That's probably why I gained so much weight. I didn't walk anywhere. I just took my little scooter when I lived in China. I gained so much weight. I prefer that than being in a big box of wheels. I'd rather just be my little tiny and weave through people. I think a car would be perfect to find all those small villages. Very true. Very true. If I ever do make my way out to the small villages in the middle of nowhere, yeah, it's gonna be a lot easier than me taking the bus there, right? I just, trip out on how the taxi's just zipping through these small alleyways. I know, they got skills, but they scary. It's a scary experience. I'm like, "Did you hear that?" The the horns are going off in the background, they hear us talking. Um, the buses, especially, the bus drivers don't care here. If you get on a bus here, run to the nearest pole or the nearest seat so that you don't fall over because they just don't they drive like it's just a regular day. They're in a car. There's not, 20 people behind them. They just ding, 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 ding. Oh, I gotta turn here now. Wait, and it's just like we're experiencing like whiplash in the back. And it's not that they don't care about people. It's just that they're like this. I gotta get to the next stop as I gotta stay on schedule. And so they just and I literally it's an experience. If you're in a chair, you're like, not too bad. If you're standing up, oh my gosh, the number of times I've hit people with my bag. Oh, tu saw me though. I just can't. They drive like wild people here. You gotta be mentally prepared like a warrior to drive in Seoul and the neighboring busy cities. You literally put on your armor, pray, and then go because it's insane. It's good to see you again, Pineapple on Pizza, by the way. And Decane, a lot of you guys came back. It's really wonderful to talk to you guys again. I love it when you come back again. Better practice in GTA before actually driving in Seoul. Yeah, so Grand Theft Auto would be a great way to practice, if they maybe had, like, a wheel rather than, like, one of these. Maybe they do. Maybe that does exist. But I still don't think it would prepare you for the mayhem of because in GTA, I could just run everything over, and it doesn't really matter, right? I'll get away. By cops. I'll be fine. But in Seoul, you can't get away from you can't run from the cops here. They'll find you. There's CTVs everywhere. So CCTVs. Sorry, I forgot to see. I think that's all bus drivers in the world. True. They think they have the right of way, and they think that they're the only one on the street, and they are priority. Um, Hello, hello. I do think I'm going to go here soon. If you do have any last questions about anything related to travel, throw them in the comments. But it was wonderful, wonderful to talk to you guys. Thank you guys so much for always coming on here. I will update you guys as often as I possibly can with everything. So make sure you are subscribed and turn the bell notifications on. And I do plan to go live again like next week as well. Probably more often, especially if the updates get crazier. But again, it was wonderful to talk with you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Annyeong! Bye, guys. And I'll stay in the comments for a little bit if you guys have any more questions. But bye.